welcome to my channel. My name is Evelyn. If you're new here, welcome. So today I'll be talking about getting an accommodation, or how you can get, or how difficult or easy it is to get apartments in Berlin. So today I'll be interviewing some people, like maybe two or three people. Let's see how it goes. Firstly, I'll be talking with Samuel. Samuel is my husband's friend. They worked together in Nigeria, and then is here in Berlin with his wife Esther, who is now my friend. And so we'll be talking about apartments and difficulty or easiness and what to look out for when you are looking for an apartment in Berlin. So stay tuned.
Cool.
So the first question is, please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks for inviting me. My
Yeah.
name is James Samuel, and I've been in Berlin for, getting close to 3 years right now, but it's not up to 3 years yet. Yeah.
So
One
Samuel
thing,
is
are there
my
other things?
Samuel is my family friend. And when we met in 2018, and so immediately Samuel spoke, I got to know that it's going to be from my village. I knew it. And then when I asked you at the airport, when we met at the airport, you're like, yeah, you're from Pakistan. I'm like, I know. You're like, why did you ask? I'm like, nothing.
We
So
know ourselves.
yeah, we know ourselves. But I was shocked when I said it. I'm like, how did you know? His name is Samuel James. Like, his name doesn't even lead to anywhere close to Kogi State, but I know. So we're talking about accommodation in Berlin. I've had a lot of questions from people saying, oh, how is accommodation in Berlin and all that. So I'd just like to ask you, um how did you get your accommodation, and how long did it take for you to get your accommodation here?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Accommodation in Berlin is not easy.
Yeah.
Until I started looking for accommodation. I do hear from people saying, man, it's not easy to get accommodation. As someone coming from Lagos town, you feel like as long as you have the money, just take a look at the apartment, and if you like it, you get it.
Yes.
But it's definitely not easy here. It took me, I think, about 3 months to finally got an apartment.
So let me chip
that
in. So when you came in from Nigeria, you got your office helped you to secure a place where you stayed for a few months, where you were able to get this current place. So it took you how long were you saying?
Yes, when I first came, my company or my employer, they provided a temporary apartment for me that I stayed in for 6 months.
Okay.
And within those time, I had to, after 6 months, I had to look for an apartment for myself. And from that moment till I finally got an apartment, it took me 3 months. And that was really, people were saying, you're so lucky, you got an apartment so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, for us it took okay, so Lekon was here in by 1st of September. I was here, and the contract was supposed to be for 6 months. But so it was supposed to end February, but we've been checking here and there, but by December we knew that we had just 2 months. We have to intensify. Me, I didn't know anything in Berlin, and I was very willing to, maybe I would have assisted, but I was even willing. I'll go and lost inside this place. Who do I even know? Who will like what? And Lekon does not discover is at work. So I'm like, I'm not going. So it was when I was going, it would take an excuse for work and all that. And the annoying thing for me was that the landlord, when he knew that our contract was expiring, he would bring in people to the apartment while we're there. Sometimes we have to leave the house. And then when we come back, we have to, because he has an key with him. When we come back, the windows are drawn, the chairs are everywhere, because it's showing the intending tenants. So it's really furious for me. I'm like, what is all this nonsense? That's when I started praying that we must get an apartment. And it was in February, the month our rent was supposed to expire, that we now got a new place. And yeah, we moved. We tried give him the key the last day of February.
Interesting.
So the next question is what does your apartment come with? Like how many bedroom? Do you have like what does it come with?
Yeah, really, really good thing. I think it comes with basic stuff plus additional stuff. But if you're looking at it from the context of someone coming from Nigeria,
Yeah.
what I mean by basic stuff, it comes
Yeah.
with electricity. You don't have to bother. Electricity is already included. It also came with water, like water is already running everywhere. And yeah, it looks pretty new. It was tidied up. There will be nothing. So that's what a basic apartment you will get. But in addition to that, the kitchen was fully furnished in the sense that we didn't have to install anything. We didn't have to maybe buy what's it called? Cooking machine or something. It came what's it called? What's the name again?
Stove.
Exactly, stoves.
And then refrigerator, microwave,
Exactly.
and
And the good thing is it also come, I think it came with a dishwasher as well as
washing machine.
oven. Yeah, washing machine.
Yeah.
So it was super nice. The only thing that I missed was I remember when they told us the apartment was furnished and I was opening the cabinet. I was expecting to see plates, cups. That was one key thing that I missed. The apartment I lived in, because it was more or less like a fully furnished apartment.
Yes.
It had everything, including
the place we lived too.
Exactly. So when I heard the kitchen is furnished, I was expecting to see the same kitchen that I saw in my previous apartment. Yeah. But so we had to start buying pot and all that. But everything you need to cook your food, apart from plates and pots, everything was already included.
Okay. But yeah, it didn't come with a balcony or a cellar, which is a store downstairs.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing, because if you remember, I said people were telling me you were so lucky you got an apartment within 3 months. Yeah, I got it because it's not actually what I really wanted. It's something that I needed so urgent. I needed it at that time. Yes. So, and it means some things were definitely missing. And one of them was basement. We don't really have a basement where we can keep our stuff. And we don't have a balcony. So so those were some of the key things that they were missing. On a normal scenario, people wouldn't have, I wouldn't have paid or maybe rented this, but because I needed something
I remember then the pressure was much then, because for some private matter we had to like go for the apartment. Okay, so what would you advise someone to look out for if the person is looking for an apartment? Because I know that your landlord, that one's another story for another day. So what would you advise people to look out for?
It's really an interesting question. One thing that I would advise people to look out for is there are people that can scam you too. That's one thing. It was so close for me. Like I was getting close to being scammed. Like I was like, I'm a Niger guy. How would someone come and scam me here?
I will leave Lagos and they come and scam me in Delhi. How?
Exactly. And so one thing is you have, before you pay money, you have to go to the apartment. If anybody is sending you emails and telling you it's not in the country, and because you go there, verify, and make sure that the person you are renting an apartment from, it has, maybe it's an organization, an entity, someone that you can relate with, because it does happen. You can be scammed. And the second thing that is also important when looking for apartment is the proximity to the train station. So you have to consider, if you are the type that go to work and all that, you need to look at how close is it to the nearest train station and stuff like that. And what else? As well, look for basement. Look for basement.
Because the apartment is small, so you need like a basement to store stuff,
Yes, exactly. And so, if you want And why is it so important? If you want to move to another apartment, maybe you buy some electronics and all that. You don't
Yeah.
want to throw
The
the package
carton.
away, the
Yeah.
cartons. You don't want to throw them. You want to keep them somewhere in
So
case you are
when you're
moving. So you
moving,
can exactly.
pack. Yeah. True. So, lastly, I'd like to ask, how much is your rent, and do you think that it is fair considering what your apartment came with, where your location, where your house, like where your flat is located, and all that? Do you think it is fair? Considering they're talking about rent freeze, even though landlords are still increasing salary, the rent, they increased our rent again
Mm.
too. So, like, do you think it is fair? And you hear people saying, "Oh, I'm paying half of what you're paying." Maybe I live in Spandau. So do you think it is fair? And yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is not fair. And to tell you a story about how it happened, I remember when I told one of my colleagues, like, okay, I got an apartment, and he was like, how much? And I told him, oh, it's so expensive.
Yeah,
Don't take it. It was like, come on, this is so expensive. Like, but having gone through all the stress that I went to,
like you just need to.
I had no choice. I was like,
Yeah,
man, I don't want to, I don't want to go through this again. I just
yeah,
need to get this. So definitely it's not fair. We are definitely paying way more than what is
no,
necessary.
yeah.
And the reason why it was easy for me to get was
Mhm,
because the apartment was so expensive and
mhm.
not so many people would take it.
Yeah.
So that was why it was easy. Because
Mhm.
when you are getting an apartment, sometimes you need to get a letter from your landlord, your previous
Yeah,
landlord. You
yeah,
need to have credit card history, you need to have a lot of stuff. So if you are just maybe, how do they sell it? Fresh out of the boat, or you are just coming into the country, you definitely do not have most of these things.
yeah. So you just
Uh,
need somewhere.
Exactly. Most landlords will be very, very skeptical to give you an apartment. So I went for it because
Yeah,
I
desperate.
needed something. But it's
Yeah,
definitely, I used to think we are paying almost double of the normal fee.
yeah,
You recently we made mention of the rent
yeah.
freeze,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and by the time that thing came to an effect, like we were paying half of the normal rent, like which
Yeah,
was supposed to be the ideal rent in,
yeah.
so it's definitely not fair.
Yeah, and when the landlord here increased the rent, he said it's for maintenance. So you cannot even protest and say, shouldn't they
You
say there's
can't.
rent freeze? Say it's for maintenance.
Yeah. Imagine my landlord specifically sent a letter last year, like, okay, they need to increase the money for maintenance. It's no longer going to be about 75 euros, 85 euros. It's going to be around 150 euros. And I was like, what? Again?
All right. Thank you so much for coming on this call. I really appreciate it. Esther, I'm gonna call you. Thank you so much. We
Seriously.
hope that this corona is over. We can David's birthday is coming. We have to celebrate now,
Definitely, we have to. And even if you are not coming to your house, we have to go to a park. No
An open
problem.
place. Yeah.
Exactly. You will take 2.5 meters.
Yes, and we'll cook jollof rice with plantain.
Exactly. So,
Thank you so much. I wish you a blessed week ahead. Thank you very much for watching to this part, to this moment. Thank you for watching. I hope you've been able to get one or two things from this video. Please give the video a thumbs up, comment, like, share, all those good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you on my next one. Bye.